sell out. My island don't sell out. Please don't sell out. My island don't sell out. Remember your teachers them now.
Yeah, you're there.
Yes, but I can't see you. I cannot see you. What's going on now?
No, this video give me a problem. I don't know if I can.
Remember your doctors them now.
Hey, my island don't sell out, really? All right. Thank you, Burning Spear. As we go right into Make We Talk, our 1 hour talk show with Jeffrey Tavares.
Good morning. Welcome to Make We Talk. A Tuesday morning where hurricane is heading towards the east coast of Florida. Hurricane lashing the Cayman Islands, leave Jamaica into the Cayman Islands and Cuba. This morning we're going to speak to the chairman of the Police Federation, Mr. Rohan James. As soon as he gets on, we will go to him. I have with me my good friend Wilfred Rattigan. He's having a little bit of problem with his internet issues, internet connections. But before we go to talk about what is going on in the Police Federation, oh God, I wish I had asked Mr. Brown to give me some co-host privilege. I would love to show something here. Maybe I can still show it, where the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, is giving an update to what is going on in Florida. Let me see if I can get a live feed.
There's going to be flooding. There will be wind damage, but those are things that we can fix. It's not necessarily easy to do, but we can do it. You can unring the bell if someone is in a very hazardous situation and then ends up dying because of a really nasty hurricane and storm surge. So please heed the warnings. We want everyone to be safe. We want everyone to get through this. But we appreciate everything everybody's been doing across the board, across the state of Florida, to step up when we have these things that bear down on us. And I think you've seen at the local level in particular, you've got some really, really strong emergency management personnel. This has been a very difficult thing to track. It's gone one direction or the other, and they've responded very quickly as new data has come in. Okay, Kevin Guthrie, why don't you come up and give an update for DEM?
Thank you, Governor. As the Governor said, we have over 500 missions that we're filling presently. I think the current number is around 550. We continue to send ambulance strike teams, oxygen technical communication services statewide, search and rescue teams. We have additional search and rescue teams standing by. I was on the phone with 3 other states this morning, again, checking on the availability of additional resources in Alabama, Kentucky, and Tennessee. They are all committed to sending us whatever it is that we need. Residents should and can expect power outages. That is going to happen. If you're a medically dependent resident, and that's a term that was coined right here in Sarasota County by the leadership here. If you're a medically dependent resident, you depend on electricity, you need to start seeking shelter now. All right, go to a friend or a family member or seek shelter. I'll let Ed follow up more on that. During previous hurricanes, we've seen certainly situations where communications go down. I highly encourage you to develop a family communications plan on how you're going to do that after the storm hits when you do not have communications. At this point in time, obviously, there's a lot of people running to gas stations. We want to encourage citizens.
We're getting some update on what is going on in Florida, certain parts of Florida, as the hurricane is heading towards us. Apparently we're having some technical difficulties because of the whole system heading towards us, and we're getting a pretty end of it at the moment. Believe you me, Mr. Brown, if you're in studio with me, it is happening where, oh my God, some parts of the Cayman Islands this morning had a bit of flooding. Now, what is going on in Florida here, I'm telling you, it is going to be, when it reaches us, it's supposed to be a Category 4 hurricane, I'm being told. And it is not a pretty sight. It's not going to be a pretty sight because based on what I am seeing here, based on what I am seeing on the model here, it is not looking good. So we're encouraging our friends and family in the Florida area, Tampa area, be safe. Poinciana, Kissimmee, be safe. Try and, as what the governor is saying, develop a family communication just in case this thing, because power is going to be out. So we have to charge our phones and so forth. I am pretty much sure I'll be having Roots FM will be having live coverage of this. Hopefully, if the system is up, we'll be having live coverage of what is going on in Florida. We're still awaiting the chairman of the Police Federation, Mr. Rohan James. My good friend Wilfred Rattigan is having some technical difficulties. And Wilfred is all the way in Washington. And this is what is going on. The system is already affecting a lot of internet connections in the United States. Every year we prepare for this. Every year we prepare. Well, we don't really prepare for this, but every year it happens. And, a lot of people don't have the preparation or the thing to say, okay, we're going to prepare for all of this. Now I have Mr. Rattigan on. I hope his mic can come up for him to tell me, in his neck of the woods, there's nothing really threatening to him. But believe you me, what is the system that I'm seeing heading towards us, it doesn't look good. It does not look good at all. I haven't seen Mr. Rohan James as yet. But there's so many things to discuss. I see videos circulating on social media of what is some allegations about the Transport Authority. Mr. Rattigan, welcome to Make We Talk, sir.
Yes, sir.
I was just showing what is going on in Florida pertaining to the hurricane heading towards Florida. You're okay where you are,
Yeah, I am. You're not.
No, I am not. I am here trying to figure out if I should ask for one of those military jets and fly around and go back to the land of wood and water. Although they're having a lot of flooding down there.
Well, you can always ask. You know what I mean? It doesn't hurt.
Yes, being a member of the diplomatical corps, Anyway, so Ratty, we're supposed to have our good friend Anne. What is your views in what is going on in the crime situation where a blogger was killed over the I think it was Thursday or Friday to be speaking on what is going on in Clarendon. Are you aware of that?
Yes, I am. It's par for the course, it's just and it's funny because it didn't even make, I don't think it made headline news. I think it was just reported. And that's the end of that. And that's what we've come to. We've come to a state where we've become numb by these killings. And I wouldn't say we accept them, but we just move on with our lives as if nothing happened, because there's this resignation that it's going to happen again and again and again. And the only thing we hope for is that it doesn't affect somebody that we know, somebody that we're related to. But we just know that it's going to happen. So it's sad. I don't know the reason behind his killing. I suspect it had something to do with his activities as a blogger. But this is where we are in Jamaica, where the killing of one person, sometimes it doesn't even make the headlines. Now they're doing triple murders and quadruple murders and
massacres.
Right, yeah, that will make the headline. But the one person, unless the person is of significance, and when I say significance, I don't mean as a blogger, I mean as somebody who's
of the influential society.
Yeah, element of high society.
Yes, the vum the vum.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
So that's where we are.
But Mr. Rattigan, with all seriousness, the level of corruption in this country, it's appalling. The level of corruption stems from some quarters they not even realize corruption is there.
Look at what happened with the recent seizure at the Ian Fleming International Airport.
And
You-
go ahead.
I don't believe that was done by somebody of little means. And what's interesting is that it was the same day, I believe, that the Prime Minister gave a speech at the UN.
Same day, yes.
He was right, and he was sending out the clarion call for nations to help Jamaica in terms of preventing weapons from entering the country legally. Because he said, and he gave his rationale for asking for assistance in that Jamaica had helped with the war on drugs. and there it is that they found over $1 billion Jamaican dollars worth of cocaine.
No man, 3-point-something billion, the biggest seizure in Jamaica's history. I got it for 2x4 airport.
And you must realize by now that this is probably not the first time this has happened. It's just the first time that people have been caught. Who knows what left the day before? Who knows what left the day after? It's just that this has been caught. This seizure of this massive amount. And Jamaica doesn't produce cocaine. So when the Prime Minister is saying, oh, we're helping with the war on drugs, what help? How did that cocaine made it into Jamaica? It may have been part of an even larger seizure. And this is just a portion that's being sent out. They send it out in small portions, even though this is a large quantity. Which leads, which I'm asking the question, well, how did it get into Jamaica? And did this come in as a single shipment in Jamaica? Or was this a part of a larger shipment? And they broke it down and they're sending these small shipments, small in quotations. They're sending these shipments out. So a lot of questions have to be answered. Also, I hope that the JCF, under the stewardship of Fitzbailey, not talking about
Toodly-dum.
No. I hope that they will do DNA, they will do fingerprinting, they'll do forensics on the packages, because I would love to know what the results, what they come up with as far as results, because it would be interesting if they have fingerprints and DNA of people living in Jamaica, and you have to assume that people living in Jamaica somebody in Jamaica knew about these things and they brought them there. Also, where are the cameras around the airport to see who brought these things in? Where are the cameras inside the airport?
And question, and also, Mr. Rattigan, question must be asked of the Port Authority of Jamaica.
That's true. That's true. A lot of questions have to be asked, but the thing is, if we don't continue to be vigilant and continue to be mavericks about forcing the government to provide information, this is going to die a media death. It will last 3-4 days and then that's it, it gets buried. How the hell can you have this kind of seizure? And they said they were working with the American law enforcement, right? I don't know what agency they were working with, but how can you have a seizure like this and yet you haven't arrested anyone? Somebody brought those bags into the airport. Somebody, and I don't think they flew in. I think somebody drove them in. But even if those bags were flown in for as a transshipment to Canada, is where they said it was the shipment was going. Then a plane brought it in, right? And so they have tail numbers. They can track the tail numbers. And from that, they can figure out who the owners, they can figure out the pilots, the passengers, all of these things. So I don't know I'm watching to see what's going to happen, but you watch. You just watch. Nothing is going to happen. Just like the plane that crash landed down now for the coast
in
of
Rocky
Ireland.
Point.
Yeah, nothing is going to happen. So what we have to do is we have to mobilize, we have to energize people. And you see, the thing about it is this. people look at this and they look at it almost like a victimless crime because they're like, well, nobody was killed.
Yes.
And it didn't take our food off of my table. So, you know, the public, they're not going to be in a rage. They're not going to be in uproar because this doesn't really affect them. But we need to let them know that it affects you because Jamaica doesn't produce cocaine. So for this to be there had to be a violation of airspace or some space where they came in on
But
planes.
Mr. Rattigan, we need to ask the question: if the JDF and the JCF have the capability to tap Jamaican citizens' phone, nobody can come and tell me that not happening. You see? And they can do what they want to do to suit themselves. Why is it that they don't have capability to know, and I'm pretty they do, to know when a plane is violating the airspace of Jamaica? We may not have F-16 to scrambled in the air, you know. But we have other things can go up there and say, listen to me, what is this all about?
We do. But the question is, where is there, and that's where the corruption piece comes in, because you have to ask yourself the question: if they have the capability, or if they have minimum capability to address this, and those capabilities weren't utilized. First question: why? Why? Because I'm sure they have radar to see when if it's a plane that brought the thing in, right? But let's assume that it's not a plane. It's a cargo ship.
Well, that's true.
Then,
but hold on there. If it's a cargo ship, do they have
scanners?
No. Do they have well, scanners too, but do they have a port in St. Mary where a cargo ship can come in, or any boat can? Well, it's a big question because they can go there and get it from off the boat.
Exactly. Remember, they have over 150 illegal points of entry. So the boats could have gone out and brought that back. I've witnessed something like that happening off the coast of right off Lovers Leap.
Yes.
Coast of St. Elizabeth. I've actually witnessed some strange activities going on out there. And I know a gentleman that I am somewhat familiar with told me about a gun deal that he actually saw 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a beach on a Sunday on a beach in Portland. He said he saw that with his 2 eyes. So things are just coming in and going out, and nobody cares, man. Nobody cares.
The same way when you speak about corruptions in this country, you have some people who are on certain platforms in this country who criticize, and why are you talking about this, and you don't live in Jamaica, you're from why are you getting involved in Jamaica's affair? Let me make something clear to you. The diaspora give Jamaica nearly $2 billion a year.
No, man, it's more than 3.
Well, $3 billion a year.
Yeah.
And when politicians leave Jamaica and go to the diaspora to beg money, the Jamaican citizens in the diaspora have a right to the affair of this country. So you all can talk when you want to talk. Talk anything you want to talk. There comes a time when enough is enough.
The idea that people outside of Jamaica shouldn't have any interest in the good governance of Jamaica is ridiculous. But you know what? Some of those same people, you have to. It depends on what day of the week you catch them, because on some days they're with you, and then on other days they're against you. And if you make the argument, as you just did, that the diaspora is sending money, remittances over $3 billion I believe. And it's not just to give auntie and uncle and cousin, it's also to pay taxes. People own property down there, and it's also for investment and other things. And you say, okay, should they stop then? Since they shouldn't have any interest in Jamaica, should they stop? And this whole idea of Vision 2030, it's inclusive. It's inclusive. It's not saying that Vision 2030 is only for Jamaicans living in Jamaica. It's saying, no, let's make Jamaica a place to live, work, have a family, and invest. And what that means is that people from outside.
This is Make We Talk breaking news. We do, I should have asked this question before I do this, but this is some news coming in to Roots FM and the Make We Talk radio show. Hurricane Ivan is currently hitting the west coast end of Cuba as a Category 3 hurricane. It's just coming into our newsroom that Hurricane
Gospel Foundation.
Hurricane Ian is now hitting the west coast of Cuba as a Category 3 hurricane. It is a large system. It has made landfall in Cuba as a Category 3 hurricane. So if it is going to be a hurricane, a Category 3 hurricane in Cuba, pretty soon it may be strengthened to a Category 4. We got to get some more information on this from the Weather Center. So as we're getting it into the newsroom between the Roots FM main news center and the Make We Talk radio show, Hurricane Ian is now a Category 3 hurricane pounding the west coast of Cuba. We do apologize to you, Mr. Rattigan, for that. Go ahead, sir. Before we end up go back to the conversation we're having, you had some information on the whole thing of the lady who wanted to become Secretary General of CARICOM, of the Commonwealth.
Yes.
And they spend how much $1 million? Do you want to talk some more about that, sir?
Yes, indeed. That story is not going to die as a media death. As you can tell, it's been well over a month now that it broke, and it's still going on. And it will continue because there are certain filing requirements that have not been met. And until those things have been met and we know who these people are, the contributors are, then the story is going to continue. And we haven't heard anything from her. I would suggest, and I think I did the last time, that you, sir, reach out to her PR people to ask, or the Minister of Information, to find out if she would be willing to come in the public square, whether on your program or some other program, and explain, because we haven't heard from her. And everything is centered around her, and we have not heard from her. Now, we don't assume that she's guilty, but we're not in a court of law. Only in a court of law, you assume that, if a person doesn't speak, then they're, you can't ascribe guilt to them. They're innocent until proven guilty. I'm not one to say that she's guilty of anything, even though we're not in a court of law. But she should have said something by now. There's a need.
But if the chief servant of the people of this country says nothing, they keep on sending out a man who just gives this country pure misinformation to speak on it. Do you expect she to come on and speak about it, Mr. Rattigan, especially on this program here?
Well, at least
where he came on and spread misinformation about a Jamaican diplomat, a highly recognized Jamaican diplomat. He came and spread misinformation. His credibility is not good for this country, sir. Go ahead, Mr. Rattigan.
That's true. The thing is, though, no one to date has asked or has called for her to clarify. And so I don't know if she's waiting, but I would suggest that we ask, we request. And then if there's no response, or if she says no, then we move on. But I
I
think
can ask my producer, Sir Owen Brown, to reach out to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade if the goodly lady would like to come on our program and explain, clarify certain things.
because she's a public servant, and the Minister of Information is not doing her justice. He's not doing the government justice by his constantly changing excuse about our explanation as to what happened. He started up by saying it's a private contract between Finn Partners and corporate Jamaica. Then how the hell did the government of Jamaica get involved by announcing the names of these people? They should have walked away from it and said, we're not involved. If you, Grace Kennedy and the others, if you want to go out and tell the Jamaican public that you supported her candidacy, then that's fine. But you say you have nothing to do with it, and then all of a sudden you're making an announcement about it. You cannot have it both ways. You're either in league with it or you're not. And from what we can see based on his explanation, there is something woefully wrong about the explanations, plural. They're not consistent. And so I would suggest you have your producer reach out to her folks to see if she'd be willing to come on and clarify. At least you'll be able to come back on there and say, look, I asked for her to come out and clarify, and she didn't. And so far we know that they have not filed the reports that they should with the Minister of Finance. At some point there will have to be a filing with the Integrity Commission. I don't think that's due yet. I don't think the deadline has passed yet. It's due, but the deadline hasn't passed. So we're not finished with her. Plus, don't forget that in her ministry, I think they have more political appointees now than they have career diplomats in the foreign service leading Jamaican establishments overseas. And then you ask yourself the question, how can these people represent Jamaica? They have no clue about what's going on, and they've climbed over career diplomats or career people in the diplomatic corps that should have had those positions. Plus, there's another question, and this is of equal significance, where they've established a group overseas. It's funny, right? They don't want to have anything to do with the people. They don't want to have anything to do with the diaspora. Yet the Jamaican government set up something called the Global Diaspora Jamaica Committee or Council or something like that.
Jamaica Diaspora Council, yes.
Yeah. So they don't want to have anything to do with the diaspora, but yet still they set this up, right? And they set this up and they appointed people to this council. Now, those folks, I hope to God that those folks got legal advice and that it's in writing that they shouldn't file as agents of a foreign power, because they're having regularly scheduled meetings with the ambassador to the US. And these are Jamaican Americans.
Hold on, Mr. Rattigan. We're going to take a quick commercial break. I apologize, Miss Isis. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here and make we talk on Roots 96.1 FM. On the other side of the break, Mr. Brown will be coming on to give us an update on Hurricane Ian.
My island don't salute.
At MOJ Ministry of Justice, come access quality service to keep order within the nation. We put together good legislation, legal aid to your pocket. A little is child diversion for you to need expertise. Victim service will help you cope with grief. Restorative justice, build back the peace, no matter where you come from. How we say justice for all Jamaicans. MOJ Ministry of Justice, come access quality service.
MOJ, taking justice to the people of Jamaica.
Become the hero on the scene by taking the COVID vaccine. Get vaccinated as soon as you get all the facts. Don't listen to the rumors. This vaccine might just make it possible for teachers to sit face to face with schoolers. This vaccine make it safer for everybody, from the young to the elderly. Don't you want to go back to living normally when things were more orderly? And if you want to live a long good life, then we all have to do what's right. So let's get vaccinated along with the heroes on the front line.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Hi, I'm
I'm Sharon.
Hi, I'm Marcia.
I'm Adrian. Join us this and every Wednesday morning for Extraordinary Abilities on Roots 96.1 FM. Join us for news, views, and interviews with extraordinary people. Extraordinary Abilities every Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on your extraordinary radio station, Roots 96.1 FM. It's gonna be fun, informative, and educational, but most of all, it will be extraordinary.
Backyard Magazine presents the Music Feel Reggae Show on Roots FM with Music Feel, DJ Sogi and SK. Every Wednesday, 5 p.m. till 6:30 p.m. This is the complete show where you get music updates, artist interviews and reviews. The Music Feel Reggae Show is brought to you by the legendary Backyard Magazine. Know your roots.
Welcome back to Make We Talk here on Roots 96.1 FM. As we promised you, I hope Mr. Brown, are you in studio, sir? Apparently he's not in studio, but there is some information coming in about the weather that I really want him to give. He's not in studio right now. Mr. Brown, when you get in studio, let me know, sir, if you're going to give the report, sir, about Hurricane Ian. We are the Hurricane Center. What is going on now between Cuba and Florida. We have a lot of families in the Florida area. You know, I know a good friend of mine have her daughter somewhere in the Poinciana area and so forth. So we need to get some update of what is happening and some preparations that is going on up there. Mr. Rattigan, we're speaking about the corruption that is plaguing Jamaica. We also have some, I saw a good friend of ours on his YouTube channel speaking about some corruption done by a certain entity in this country. And a lot of names is calling. A lot of names has been calling. And I have information about some of the names that is calling, you know. But unmute your mic for me. But I am not going to put it out here. The Mocha and Fraud Squad, and also the people who does auditing, the Auditor General. Them need to do what I'm supposed to do. Because there's absolutely no way a person can come out on social media and spread such propaganda. That's not propaganda. It is coming right from inside here. Mr. Rattigan, what is your views on the video you saw, sir?
Startling. It has confirmed my opinion that Jamaica, and this is just further confirmation. It's not the first confirmation. It's just further confirmation. Jamaica is mired in corruption. I mean, the gentleman that you're speaking about, Mr. Wayne Lonesome, he has a YouTube program and he put out a video, a two-part video actually.
Yes.
About corruption in the transport sector. And one of the most notable things about his report was that he had a taped conversation with a high-ranking official assigned to the transport sector. And in that telephone conversation, he was able to tease out the fact that permits to operate certain types of vehicles.
In other words, Mr. Rattigan, what he's saying, that the conversation that I heard, the gentleman is asking how much they sell road license for. Now, road license has been closed from a certain year. And is the road license that the gentleman heard on the phone was, I heard it myself, was $600,000.
He went down to 550. He went down to 550 when he was told that Wayne Lonesome had 2 coasters. He said the best price he can give is and how much is the normal price for a license to operate that vehicle?
I don't have it in front of me, but I was told that there is one going for $15,000, and I think the coaster going for either $80,000 to $94,000.
So then the question becomes, why is it that somebody is willing to pay $600 when it's only $95?
Because you know why? A lot of us Jamaicans love too much backdoor deal. You see? And we have some people in this country heading transport sector and transport group. I won't say what I really want to say now.
No, but the program is called Make We Talk. So therefore, make we talk. We can't talk if you not say things. You have to talk out the things, man.
The time has come. The time has come. And what I'm saying is not the views of Roots 96.1 FM, it's the views of Jeffrey Tavares. The time has come that the corruption in our country has to stop. Mr. Wilfred Rattigan made a last week. He said that the FBI are going to investigate donor funds. And you have some people in police force and former retired police officers who believe they know it all. Because you made the statement that you're going to start investigating. Listen to me. Investigate who must investigate. Because you have some people who believe that they must go around and scam people with fake business. They're not going any further.
You don't talk.
Let her not go any further. The time has come, Mr. Rattigan, that enough is enough.
But you can't whet your audience's appetite like that and walk.
Whet their appetite. You have to whet it.
Man. No, man.
They want more?
Because they want to hear. They want to hear, man. They want to hear. Maybe you want to tell them about the program that you're planning to have on a Sunday with me, you and Mr. Lonesome, you know?
No. That's going to be a surprise. You don't tell them yet. You just come out with it. You're going to advertise it, but you come out with it, and Wayne Lonesome, Wilfred Rattigan, and Jeffrey Tavares going to have a program one Sunday evening pertaining to the corruption in this country. With some people who believe because they have lawyers and doctors and barristers in a camp, they cannot be touched. And they go around and owe people money and don't want to pay them.
Talk the things, sir. Talk the things. Name names, man.
The scamming is going on in the poor pauperizing bus and taxi drivers of this country. Because you have some people who call themselves presidents. It's only a certain time they know the poor pauperizing bus and taxi drivers. When the time come for road license to be renewed, that's the time they know them. And they collect how much money from them. How they can't get road license. There's a certain parish in this country named Portland. But then go up there and collect money from them so they can't get road license. And all that, they don't see neither them nor the road license.
Talk up the things, sir. Here.
I'm not going any further. You not pull me not turn Porsche today when hardly going to Crossroad or the Panfin platform and say you could have done better. And mama said, don't draw my tongue because I don't feel no girl, no boy, nowhere. Don't draw it this morning.
No, man. Well, since you're not afraid of no boy and no girl nowhere, then we want to hear because the inquiry.
Mr. Rattigan, the level of corruption in this country is appalling, you know.
Yeah.
Who you think wouldn't be doing certain things? They're doing it.
But see, the thing is, like I was saying, you know, they're used to people talking about it, but they're not used to people doing anything about it. And what Wayne Lonesome did was courageous and was correct. He named names.
Yes.
And he played that telephone conversation he had with that gentleman. And I'm hoping that it will be spread throughout the island. Right? Not just stay within his constituency, meaning Wayne Lonesome's constituency, people who listen to him, but that it will make its way far and wide.
I think it has, you know, because if Wilfred Rattigan can come on a radio station as only in the inner city and say certain things and ruffles the feathers of the vumvavan, the vumvavi in this country, it go in places.
Yeah, I think we need to run with, and I've had a couple conversations with him. I'm sure you've had too, but the conversations I've had with him, you know, I'm looking to do a collab with him so that we can expose this thing to the fullest.
Mm-hmm.
So that
and some corruption going on in JFF. Let me call them corruption that go on in the Jamaica Football Federation. Corruption going on left, right, and center in Jamaica. That's why the crime cannot stop.
Everybody involved, right? I mean, people should be setting examples, right? They're the ones involved. I mean, when Wayne played that tape, I was kind of shocked, you know, at the
level of information he has.
That's one. And two is just the level of the brazenness of these officials to say that this is how much we're charging for the license. And to be honest with you, I shouldn't be shocked, but every now and again I hear something that's just shocking, you know. And this time, and this wasn't hearsay. This wasn't like, you know, you told me that you
right,
from
and
someone that this was going on. He
had
has
information.
And he had a direct conversation with the person.
But Mr. Rattigan, you know, I think we have to go far back from when the managing director who is at the place now, you know. We have to go far back from him, you know. Because this thing has been going on from Wappy kill Philip.
Wappy kill Philip?
Whosoever killed Philip. But somebody killed Philip. That's been going on from way back when. You know? The time has come, man. It can't continue. It can't continue. The level of corruption can't continue.
What we need to do, and I think he did, he brought it out and said, Mocha he has the information. He has data, he has telephone conversations, he has a whole bunch of stuff. And he's saying, look, Mocha, you guys need to go ahead and, you know, get the stuff from me and start your investigation. I don't know if they have. I'll find out from him, but they should. Because it's good stuff. It's very, very, very good information. Very good information. It's a good start.
Hold on, Mr. Rattigan. I think we may have Mr. Brown. If you're in studio, let me know, sir. I think we may have him to give us a little update on what is going on with the weather.
He's not in studio yet, Jeffrey.
Okay, thank you, Miss Isis. Thank you so much, ma'am. We're gonna continue this because Mr. Rattigan, you know, but I don't understand. You know, you have some people who they're so gullible. You don't know who called you, and you don't give us so much information about what you do from what you don't do.
That's what I'm saying. They're so brazen that they you know, nowadays people when they for the most part, a lot of the criminals, they shy away from the phones. They use other means and methods of conducting their criminal activities. But and this one is especially interesting because when he started out, he asked Wayne, "Where did you get my number from?" And Wayne gave him some fictitious name, like he would say, "I got my name from Michael," and he says, "Which Michael?" I'm saying, "Yeah, man, Michael. I know Michael." I'm saying, "No, I know a lot of Michaels. Which one you get my name from?" And he was able to kind of deflect the question and get straight to the heart of the matter, saying, "Look, I have 2 coaster buses, and I would like to know how much it's going to cost for me to get my license." And he went ahead and he told him, you know, $550 per. So, and
no man, he said 6 something before, and then Wayne says, man, he put it down to $550.
Right. Question now is that man still working?
Of course he's still working there. Of course he's still working there. Yeah.
He should have been removed. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, he should have been removed immediately. Even if you want to keep him on salary, but he's supposed to be removed until the investigation has been completed because there's enough there to remove him. Again, this is not hearsay. This is the man's voice. You hear his voice on the telephone line. And he's negotiating to collect money from a citizen for something that should have been conducted in a legal, orderly manner. He's doing it surreptitiously. Wayne should have walked into the place and paid his fees. Instead, he called this guy, and this guy fell for it. And the reason why this guy fell for it is because Wayne apparently had heard that these people are accepting bribes.
Yes.
This is not the first time this guy did this.
But you know something, Mr. Rattigan, I was approached to give information pertaining to it, you know. And I the same transport sector. And I said to myself, should I really get myself involved in this thing? Yes, I want to you know, bring out corruption. And I spoke to some friends of mine, and I spoke to my producer, and I said to myself, no, I'm not going to take this. I have information even right now. And I didn't do it. So when Wayne came out with it, I said, oh God, something really goes up. You know? It is sad. It is a very, very sad state of affairs.
Yeah, that man should not be there. He should not be at that thing because, you know, as long as he can identify he answered to the name that Wayne called him, right? And it's easy. We can do a voice analysis if he's going to object to it and say that that's not him. We can do and then we can also look at the number that Wayne called. Who's the subscriber to that number? There's so many ways we can go to identify who was on the phone with him. So that man should not be at his But
you have some of them in the lower standard of society, you know, who go around and so they can get the road license, you know. They need to investigate them. They need to be investigated too. It can't be that we have people in this country who we believe is of higher standard and going on the way they're going on. We're supposed to have the chairman of the Police Federation this morning. He is unavailable. I just got a message that he's unavailable, Mr. Rohan James, because he was going to come and talk up the things. Because the police are working without any uniform. The Prime Minister went and helped graduate some of them, you know. And they wasn't wearing any uniform. When you have them, the camouflage blue sitting them.
The denim.
And the Prime Minister said nothing about it. The Jamaica Constable Force do not have any uniform to give the police officers. They don't have any. They don't have no gun, they don't have no shoes. And the PNP can't say about it because they're no better barrel, no better herring. God help us all in this country. We're a country that I don't know where we're going. Mr. Rattigan is a Jamaican. Where do you think we're going?
We're going nowhere fast. We're going nowhere fast.
We're a sinking ship.
Yeah, because there's a failure to lead, and we have people who they occupy positions of leadership, but they must realize that leadership is not positional. Because you can have somebody lead who doesn't have a position, and you can have people who are in a position and they have no idea. Some of these people, they're managers, they're not leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And they get it twisted all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have, there is no leadership, and there is no consistency. Also, it's just all over the place.
Mr. Rattigan, give me a minute. I have Mr. James on. Mr. James, welcome. We don't have a couple of minutes with you on air on Roots FM.
My apologies. I'm just coming out of the traffic court.
That's okay. Have the Minister of Insecurity give you what you want yet, sir?
I wish I had all those things that I needed at this time, because I'm still not in receipt of all the requests that we have made.
And I get to understand that the police officers that graduate the other day and I saw camouflage sitting, and the Prime Minister was there. And that should not be because what happened? They don't have any uniform, sir?
I must admit that the officers are graduated in #1 uniform and denim, as well as tunic, and it is uncustomary for us to graduate in anything other than tunic or ceremonial dress. So I want to say that the organization would be void of uniform in that regard. We have never had a showpiece of that magnitude without being donned in the white tunic and our customary black pants with red sleeve, and that our families would be there cheering us on.
So you're telling me the Minister of Defense, the chief servant of this country, along with the second chief servant, who is the Minister of National Insecurity and Justice, you know, if he said that, I mean to say it, was there, and the Commissioner Twiddledum, and said nothing about that?
I believe that the Prime Minister owes the members of the Constabulary Force an apology too, because during that ceremony he referred to some members of the Constabulary Force as being troublemakers, and I'm sure that he would not have gone on record to make such pronouncement in respect of the Jamaica Defence Force. So I believe wholeheartedly he owes the members of the Constabulary Force an apology.
My God. We don't have enough.
Let me say this, though. If representing the well-being and welfare and the deficiencies and asking for accountability and efficiency is deemed to be troublemaking, I can guarantee persons will be in for a rude awakening. There will be more trouble, because I am not going to sit by and allow for the members of the Constabulary Force to subsidize national security and for them to be paid little or nothing for their services. That is one guarantee that I make. We must get it right at first instance in this regard. The members of the Constabulary Force must be given the ultimate support and remuneration so that they can effectively serve the citizens of Jamaica. And the Police Federation that I lead at this time, we are committed to the task. We cannot breach the trust of the membership who have vested so much confidence in this team. And we are making sure that we stand up on a matter of principle and utilize all the information to endeavor that Jamaica gets a focused workforce to police them and to safeguard them in every facet.
Mr. James, can you stay with us, because I'm gonna break away from Roots FM and still be on my YouTube channel. So members of the Roots FM YouTube channel can come over to my YouTube channel. We're gonna speak to Mr. James some more about what is going on in the Jamaica Constabulary Force. He's the chairman, and he asks them for sitting and they can't get it. Then I no uniform. Police going home with only $70,000 a month. Yet the JCF Let the Ministry of National Insecurity and Justice get donor funds in the tune of 2 billion Jamaican dollars. This is where I say so long to my friends and family on Roots FM radio. I am Jeffrey Tavares, returning to the studios of Roots FM. Miss Isis, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Jeffrey. I thought you were going to speak to Owen, but you
Owen is there. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I didn't know he was there. Owen, go ahead for me, please.
So
Sorry,
Owen
I do
will just
apologize
give
about that.
the update on the Hurricane Ian.
Yes. Let you go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't know he was here. Go ahead, Owen. Sorry.
To make landfall tomorrow afternoon. They're at Tampa Bay, so they're projecting that it will make landfall at Tampa Bay in Florida. It has made landfall in Cuba earlier this morning at about 4:30, and it has to some extent touched back waters. Right, so we're not sure the level or the extent of damage. Not seeing any images or videos yet. They're in Cuba, but I'm sure that they received winds up to 135 miles per hour. So we know that that can be devastating. That can cause houses, to be damaged, and other infrastructure. And so it's heading towards Tampa Bay. That's the last projection, and they're saying that it will strengthen later on today into tomorrow into a category 4, but it's actually expected to reach a category 3 before it actually makes landfall there in Tampa Bay. As we were saying, entire Florida, they're now under a state of emergency, and they're expecting in some areas up to 12 inches
of rain.
Right. So in Tampa Bay, they're expecting 5 to 8 inches. In Venice, in Fort Myers, they're saying surge and the feet would go up to 12. And they're also encouraging persons to, if it is that they can evacuate, and also persons who are preparing, to stay. If it is that they're staying, to ensure that they're securing their space and the area that they are. If it is flood prone, they're telling them to go, right? Mandatory to some extent in some areas, because they're saying they need to actually be aware that this storm is a monster storm, and it's actually going to grow stronger later on today into tomorrow as it becomes a category 4, but they're saying it may still be downgraded to a slight category 3, heading for landfall tomorrow afternoon.
Well, Mr. Brown, thank you very much. Roots FM is going to be the hurricane center regarding to what is going on in Florida. At any time we get in the news, I'm pretty much sure Miss Isis will allow us. We're going to break it to the Roots FM family. We're going to say thank you all very much for the Make We Talk show. I am Jeffrey Tavares, returning to the studios of Roots 96.1 FM. You can come over to the YouTube, the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. I'll be speaking to Mr. Rohan James, chairman of the Police Federation. Thank you, Miss Isis.
You're welcome, and thank you so much, Owen Brown. A lot of us have family and friends in Florida. I have my brother and sister there, lots of cousins and aunties and uncles, a lot of family members in Florida. I know Cal has her daughter, and so many of us have family and friends there. So we're wishing them all the best. And of course, indeed, throughout the program, we will be bringing you updates. And once again, I have to say congratulations to Owen Brown for the tremendous job that he does on the Instagram page, especially over the weekend in terms of updating us about what's happening here in Jamaica with that tropical storm. So we look forward. All right, take a pause for the cause.
Thank you.
Come right back. You're in tune to Roots FM 90.
Yes, welcome to the Make We Talk program. Mr. James, you were saying, sir, that you will not stand by as long as you're chairman for the police to get what they duly deserved. They need the money.
Indeed, and not only do they need monies, but they also need proper health care, proper health insurance, and for that good reason, we believe that the time has come for the government to review what it is that is on the table regarding the issue of the health card that is provided to police officers. Let alone, we believe that the time has come after 2 years of compensation review for the Minister of Finance to tell us what is the real issue regarding this compensation review, because based on what he has published, there are so many misconceptions that they are planting in the minds of the members of the public. And it is laced with untruth and otherwise. So I want for the minister, since the 7th of July, when we last met, for the Minister of Finance to come clean with the Police Federation so that we can advise our members what it is that the government of Jamaica is really up to.
So Mr. James, you have met with the Minister of Finance?
On the 7th of July and up to today's date, notwithstanding they promised to reduce in writing to the Jamaica Police Federation what was discussed, what the government's position is, and makes for them to review aspect of what they proposed that we objected to. They have not reduced anything to us in writing since then. All we are seeing circulating is some flyers with laced with some rubbish, to say the least, out there.
Wow.
And that is not in keeping with good faith with the good industrial relations practice. We are at the bargaining table, and it is expected that the government would stand high, stand tall. But instead of doing what is right and honorable, the government has seen it fit to be invoking the public's perception, believing that it will influence the outcome of what it is that we are pursuing in the interest of our members and in the interest of this country. All I'm simply saying that we will not be daunted, we will not flinch, we will stand resolute, and we will defend what we believe is a reasonable position and pursue diligently the bread and butter issue that has been languishing for our members for far too long. The police has sacrificed tremendously sweat, lives, blood for this country. And it is time that the government, since they have indicated that they are prepared to compensate police officers for work done, this is the time for them to put the money where the mouth is. Lip service and pretty talk won't cut it. Crime and criminality, corruption has been taking this country by storm. We are prepared to respond above board as what we have been doing. We believe that we have demonstrated the will and the capacity. It is for the government to now play its role in remunerating us and stop telling the public that you cannot pay us as how you are aligning other areas of the public service, because you have been aligning those who are well off and who are not placed at risk half as much as the police does. But you want us to continue to give and not to be blessed in return with proper remuneration for ourselves and our family's existence.
You know, Mr. James, I want to ask you this question. The last time you and I and Mr. Rattigan spoke, I see I have a gentleman on here by the name of Garden. I don't know who he is.
There are other persons logging on.
Okay, no problem. Log on. We don't talk up the things. Too much nonsense going on in this country. The Minister of National Insecurity and Injustice want the police to go out there with all of these zozos and nazes and kind of zizes and not paying them. The money that they spend for the nene and the zozo and the zizi, isn't that money could spend towards paying the JCF members and getting the uniform, Mr. James?
Once the investment is made in the constabulary force, it will be a worthwhile investment. We don't need to be acting with any knee-jerk reaction and any emergency. All you need to do is provide the resources for the constabulary force, and we certainly, with the competent skill set and the determination and the will of the men and women who currently serve this organization, we are able to do it, because we have seen where, as when we police communities and remain in those communities and build those rapport, criminal elements have to flee. So when you start the police have resources vital and critical to our existence in these communities, what it does is to create that void, and criminal elements strive on those absence and continues to wreak mayhem. So there needs not be any emergency reaction. All you need to do is take a holistic approach and commit that investment, and you will certainly reap the fruits of that investment.
Boy, I don't know. Our country, Mr. Rattigan, you have anything to say, sir?
Well, well, let me ask the chairman this question. So, Chairman, the last time we spoke, I asked if you were aware of a crime plan, and you said you had not seen one. I'm going to ask you the question again today, because it's been some time. It's been a few weeks, I think 2 weeks or so. I'm going to ask you again just to see if things have changed. Have you seen that crime plan yet, sir?
I've not seen the crime plan, and I believe that communication is key. And if there is anything that resembles that plan, it needs to be communicated.
Okay.
So hold on, Mr. Rattigan, hold on a minute. You are the chairman for the Police Federation. And the hierarchy of the Ministry of National Insecurity and Injustice hasn't sent down a crime plan to you. In other words, you haven't seen one, none at all.
You're correct.
How long you been chairman now, sir?
I'm in my second year as chairman.
But what a banger in this country. No, what going on? And then twiddly dumb. No talk, you must shoot and whatever.
No, that's twiddly dumb.
Oh, no, that's twiddly dumb.
Yes.
The Minister of National Insecurity and Injustice. No, Mr. Rattigan, go ahead, because honestly, I've reached a point where I don't know.
No. So let me just ask the good chairman a couple of questions here, just to see where we are. I'm trying to compare the answers to the answers we got the last time. So, Mr. Chairman, does every member today, do you know if every member of the JCF has a ballistic vest assigned to him or her?
We are still in many areas void of critical resources: ballistic helmet, ballistic vest, weapons, you name it. We are still deficient in many areas.
So let me just cut to the chase and ask you this. What is your expectation of the crime fighting policies of the JCF, given the fact that you don't have resources, and those resources are ballistic helmet, ballistic vest, pepper spray, collapsible baton, weapons, vehicles, a crime plan. So, in your estimation, how do you go about fighting? You know, we have this phrase in Jamaica, say you give somebody a basket to carry water. It seems as if it's very apropos here, but want to hear in your own words, how do you expect to fight crime? And do you expect to be a successful endeavor, given the fact that you have all of these shortcomings and the minister has made it clear that he has lots of money to spend?
Let me contextualize it like this. I have on previous occasion state in no uncertain terms that our employer, the government, has for far too long been tying the hands of the members of the constabulary force from operating at optimal level. I say this against the backdrop that critical investment that is needed has not been forthcoming in the manner that we believe that it should be presenting itself, given the fact that crime, criminality, and more so murder is on a spike. We are of the utmost that the government can do far better, given what it says that is an investment from donor agencies, and we need to see that materializing in terms of resources available at our disposal, so that we can effectively spread our wings and to take charge of the various communities, as well as to treat with infrastructure that is causing manpower hours to be lost. We cannot continue to place our members in this precarious position that is impacting their health and well-being, and also impacting their well-being, because when you place officers in conditions that the Ministry of Health deemed to be unhealthy, and has gone even as far as to issue notices that these structures be closed, and it is being disregarded, then we cannot continue to allow our colleagues to operate within those areas. We have to, at some stage, take a stance, be it unpopular, but we are going to have to take a stance some way, somehow, because we cannot continue to endanger our members and facilitate the government putting their health and well-being at risk, and not seeing any end in sight of the treat with these issues holistic in the manner that we believe they should be doing.
So Mr. James, the question is going to ask, because if you all don't, if the members of the JCF don't have a crime plan to fight crime in Jamaica, they're not being paid properly, they don't have any ballistic vests.
Jeff, let me correct you. If there's a crime plan, as I said before, it has not been shared. So I cannot say.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask this, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Based on your experience and your knowledge, because I believe you've been in the force for more than 20 years. Has there ever been a case where there is a crime plan and everybody knows, but it was not shared with the Federation?
I know that previous commissioners, you would have previous commissioners, they may not have shared in its entirety what their plans were, but I know I can speak about Owen Ellington as former commissioner. He would kill you with information regarding strategic operation, administrative changes, development, you name it. A number of elements that he includes in his operation and administrative discharge of his function. So he was a stickler of information, and he every single week in terms of operation, you would see some dynamics on display as it relates to operation, as well as you would see various information in the force orders as to the strategic vision and direction in the force orders, as well as conferences. You would normally see him engaging more in conferences, as well as videos that he would circulate as his mission would afford him, stating his position as the chief. So there are a myriad of issues that he used to use to get the information out and to engage members, albeit that he may not have been a popular commissioner of police among the rank and file, but certainly nobody could have faulted him for sharing his ideas and philosophies so that it could be clearly understood. And some, at least you could say, oh, these are some of the areas that nobody is going to be able to tell you that you can't venture in because the commissioner has given clear instruction in that regard.
All right. Well. Let me ask a follow-up question then. The police federation is a union. Am I correct?
Not a union. It's a federation, a representative body. We cannot associate with any union or any other entity. It's a standalone entrance body.
So can you employ tactics such as go slow or strikes?
Not at all.
So let me ask you this then. So if you are not given the resources, if you're not given the crime plan, you don't have the strategy, you don't have the tactics, you have nothing, right? How do you force beyond talking to them and asking and pleading and coming to the media? How do you force the government then to give you what you deserve to do the job that you've been appointed to do?
That is why it is critical for us as the Federation to engage the various stakeholders, to include the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce, as well as the Crime Management Oversight Committee, and to share with them our short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals and what it is that we believe are best suited to treat with operational efficiencies within the organization. And we continue to engage the public and to keep the public in the loop as to what is happening, where there is some shortcoming on the part of our employer to provide what is their responsibility in providing resources, and where we believe that there should be a greater response. And we continue to bring to notice of the commissioner as well as the Minister of National Security what we believe that these impediments are that continues to hamper force efficiency. And we are continuing to make recommendations as times goes by, and we'll continue to do so until we get it right, because I believe that this is a time where we can get national security and the JCF on the footing that it should be, and can serve at greater capacity to the citizens of Jamaica. All it requires is a focus of the employer to provide us with the remuneration and the resources, and for us to get the job done. From the existence of this constabulary force, we are left to suffer with shortfall in budget, so that it impacts our operational efficiency. So much so that many of our facilities have outlived its usefulness. While you have commissioners coming and going, it is useful to look at some of the crime strategy plans.
I think
vision that they would have shared in the past and pick for those visions the best practice.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman,
critical areas that
Mr. Chairman, we're losing you because I
Yes.
think the signal is going. We're losing you. Could you repeat what you were saying a while ago, sir? We're losing you. The signal is going from you. Are you hearing us?
you hearing.
Yeah, I'm hearing you now. We're losing you a while ago. Go ahead.
Yes. So in as it relates to looking at the best practices and some of the success and the plans that were in train, I believe that we can all review those successes and those plans. Take for instance, I believe that our lockups, you shouldn't be having police officers manning lockups when we are supposed to be out there engaging in keeping community safe. That is the role and the responsibility of the correctional service. Once we do any apprehension, the government must find the resources to create detention centers. We must merely have holding areas at police facilities, not lockups. We should move away and free up those areas of national security resources so that the men and women, the amount of personnel that it takes to man lockup facilities, we are not to be manning lockup facilities in 2022, especially when we have murder at this high. We should be freeing up the trained personnel to go out there and to serve the citizens. It should be the role and responsibility of our other stakeholders to man detention centers. We should not be grappling with lockups at this time as a force.
Mr. James, is it that we don't have when I was growing up, they have what, the DC and is that this district constable?
Yes, you have district constables who will assist in manning lockup, but there was a plan that the Federation was actively pursuing with the High Command at some stage to have detention centers instead of having lockups at the various stations. And these detention centers would be staffed with district constables recruited specifically for those detention centers, and not to utilize the men and women who have the knowledge, the competence, and the training that is required out there in the operational field to be bogged down with manning lockups.
If you're just joining us, and if hold on for Mr. Rattigan, one moment, please. If you're just joining us on the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel, we're speaking to Mr. Rohan James, chairman of the Police Federation. The Jamaican police officers, some of them are only paid $70,000 and going home with. They don't have any shoes. They don't have any uniforms. They don't have any guns. They don't have anything. Yet the government gets donor funds in the tune of nearly $2 to $3 billion a year. How is the money being spent? And our police officers don't have the apparatus or what they have to fight crime. Is it that our country is going down a slippery slope? We're speaking to the chairman of the Police Federation. We also have Mr. Wilfred Rattigan, a former FBI agent attorney at law, the son of the soil, Mbana Waterhouse, Jamaica in Ban. So all who believe, you have a certain SSP, a former SSP, who believe that members of the diaspora shouldn't speak about topics in Jamaica. That people who live overseas shouldn't speak about the crime situation in Jamaica. The people on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel for me. Share it, make people know that the police officers in Jamaica are only going on with $70,000 a month. Some of them. And then I have no ballistic vest, then I have no uniform. How can we fight crime in a country like this? When the government refused to give them anything, Mr. Rattigan ask the question, answer.
Yeah, I'll just add that in addition to not having uniform and vest, they don't have cars, they don't have weapons, they don't have a crime plan, they don't have anything. The chairman mentioned something about training a little bit, a while ago. And I'm just curious, I have a question for him. The JCF has been in existence much longer than the JDF. The JCF is the primary local law enforcement in Jamaica. It's charged with the responsibility of protecting, serving, and reassuring the Jamaican public. The JDF is about protecting the nation from invasion from another country.
And from alien.
The training for both entities is different. The mission is different. The culture is different. The mindset is different. Given all that I just said, Mr. Chairman, I would like to know, why is it that they've had 3 experiments so far with the JDF taking the helm of the JCF, but they've never had a JCF member leading the JDF? Why?
It's a good question, and I believe that it is redound to succession planning, and I will hasten to say that a house that is divided cannot stand. As an organization, as a unit, we have to ensure that we seek to partner and to respect that all of us will never ever venture at the top. But if we unite around a common cause, then succession planning in and of itself will be the order of the day, that we can at least achieve a greater good, and the objective can be met in that we, as a team, can identify who will succeed who and continues to develop from there on, because organization flow must reflect succession planning, and we must plan strategically and form a consensus around who will be next in line and who in the interest of the organization and the people of Jamaica. So it can be done. It's just a matter that we need to strategically plan that way out.
But not only that, Mr. Chairman, I think the Jamaican people must demand constitutional reform. It can't be that a politician have a friend who he want to put as commissioner of police and he put him there. It cannot happen. So I believe the people of our country should demand that the powers may be, whether the Prime Minister or whosoever, and the leader of the opposition, there must be members within the JCF who can become commissioner of police.
While it is that I believe wholeheartedly that we possess, we just need to unite. Unity is strength, and where we are not united, then we allow for invasion.
But Mr. Chairman, the reason why I ask that question is this: if you have people who came up within the ranks of the JCF and are determined to be leaders, they know the organization inside out. They know the membership. They know the mission. Why is it then that they would bring a military guy, a military person in to lead the organization, and then they're claiming that the military person have leadership qualities, yet we don't even have a crime plan. We don't have the resources that you need to go ahead and do. There's no wonder why these things are happening, because we have a square peg in a round hole. We have a person who doesn't understand what's going on within the organization, and I'm being told that he doesn't have the full support. And the reason why he doesn't have the full support is not because he didn't start out with the full support, it's because it's been proven that he doesn't know what he's doing. So people have to withdraw their support. You cannot keep on giving your support to somebody who's patently unqualified for the job. So that's what I'm hearing. So I mean, have you raised that issue to say, look, to the stakeholders, We cannot keep having this. We cannot keep having a square peg in a round hole. We can't have people from the military coming. They don't understand what we do. In fact, for Zozo, they have to. My understanding is that they have to educate some of them in the language and in the actions of policing and basically deputize them. A quick thing, right? Meanwhile, you spent 20 years doing this, so you know this thing inside out. So how can you have a guy who has no clue, except that he's done, he'd say, okay, I've had some leadership training and whatnot. How can he transfer that leadership training over into the JCF, where we know he can't do it because it's not being done? We know that. But what's the mindset behind it? Have you spoken to the stakeholders to say, what are we doing? What is the Police Services Commission doing? Are they just rubber stamping somebody that the Prime Minister wants? I mean, is this what it's about, or are we getting the best qualified candidate for the job?
We're not.
Again, I'm going to answer like this again. A house that is divided cannot stand. And if it is that you are not united around a consensus as to who will succeed, then you will always find infiltration.
My God. Mr. Rattigan?
Yes, sir.
Our country gone. If the members of the JCF who are put out there in harm's way every day to protect the citizens of Jamaica, no wonder they say, want boss left or right. No wonder they have the ticket book out there and I get a little thing and I put it in and have a buy look rum. How can we have a country where donors are given to the national security of our country to fight crime in our country, and the crime is out of work because the members of the JCF are underpaid, and them same one, the people of the Vumvava and the Vumvavi and the politicians want these people to protect them, and they're underpaid. When are we going to wake up in this country and call a spade and stop this damn PNP and JLP crap? Now you have the chairman for the federation asking for help, and until we can't get the help, you get little rice grain here, little rice grain there, and we soon get the congi here.
And you know what's interesting? I believe the Ministry of National Security, as far as the budget is concerned, I believe that ministry is the second largest recipient of budget funds. I don't know. I don't remember who the first is. I don't know if it's the military, but I know that the Minister of National Security is number 2. So where is that money?
Investigation need to go on. The members of the JCF that drive someone brought long car. When you see the Minister of National Security and Justice, is he in our Range Rover, one Prado, one Audi, and all I can hear is we want, give away. And the poor police officers that drive someone brought long Toyota Corolla when they pick up off a car malt. What is going on in this country? Do they truly want to fight crime in this country, Mr. Rattigan and Mr. James? Mr. James, you don't have to answer that one in because I don't know. I want to get in no trouble.
No, I don't see a serious intent to address the issue. I mean, when you tell me that the best you can do is those on state emergency, then it tells me that you have no clue, you have no idea what's going on. And the sad part is, these people in charge, they're protected. They'll come in, they'll get paid, and then they'll leave. And the poor people who should receive the service and the reassurance, they're going to be left time after time after time after time. There is no real effort to fight crime in Jamaica. There is no real effort. There's no real effort. First thing, even before you start getting to resources, I would say crime is a number one priority. Should be a number one priority. I don't know if it is, but it should be. Okay.
It's a number one priority to make money.
Then you say to yourself, where is the crime plan? It can't be this document, this document here, this National Security Policy for Jamaica, because none of the things written in that document
is being implemented.
None of them are being implemented. Thank you, sir. So it can't be that. And then not only that, why would you have a crime plan and not share it with the federation or with the members? Why? Because the members, they make up the JCF, the rank and file. So why wouldn't you share it with them if you have a crime plan? They have no crime plan. Twiddly dum and twiddly dum. Dumb and dumber. That's what we have there.
Three Stooges, Curly, Larry, and Moe.
And more the same thing.
Yes.
The same thing.
The chief servant is Curly. The other one is Moe, and the other one is Anyway, Jeffrey, shut it up your mouth. Behave yourself. Mr. Chairman, are they gonna give you what you asked for, sir? Cause they have money less spend all over the place, you know. Then build one police station in somewhere down there, sir. And I get a video. It flood out. Why can't they know Jamaica is a flood-prone area? Why they can't raise the things up and pull it on a higher thing, you know? It flood out. Everything gone. Over 200 million that are gone on the drain.
You think, again, it just shows the idiotic nature of the leadership. Of the so-called leadership. Because you would think that based on, like you said, certain areas in Jamaica are flood-prone, right? And given to landslides. That somebody, some architect, some surveyor, somebody with some sense of the landscape would say to him, you cannot build this police station right here. It should be built on higher ground. Or it should be built over there, You think somebody with sense would have, but again, it reveals to me on a daily basis that common sense is in short supply. It's a rare commodity. Because what they do, they think that leadership is positional, and so they get a little position and them start tell you all kind of nonsense. But when you look beyond the degrees and the this and the that, and you look at what they've actually done or what they failed to do, then you realize that these people are numbskulls. They're numbskulls. They're brain dead, these people. They're brain dead. And so somebody has to do, because we keep talking about it, but I want to find out what can the federation do? Can the federation do a go slow action, or can they say to the stakeholders, listen, you guys need to step up to the plate, because we've been talking to you about getting the government to do certain things. We've been talking to the government and nothing's been done, And they need to come out, because here's the thing. I am sure that this federation chairman, if he's based on the conversations we've had with him, that if he's given the right platform, I'm sure he'll be able to change the minds and the hearts of how people feel about the JCF. I'm sure when he comes out in a public forum, we need to highlight this, and he comes out and says, look, we don't have no car, no bulletproof vest, no ballistic helmet, no collapsible baton, no pepper spray, no uniform, no guns. And on top of it, we don't have a crime plan. So we don't know, we out there fight crime with your eyes closed. We don't know how to go about certain things. I mean, certain people, you cannot have this organization with some components of it moving in one direction, another one moving in another direction. You can't have CTAC do one thing and then somebody else over here, and there's no collaboration, there's no cohesion, there's no cooperation, there's no unity, and there is no crime plan. You cannot function like that as a law enforcement entity. You cannot function like that and expect to be successful. So the fact that the crime rate is going up and up and up and up, and the guns are just flowing in, and the scammers are thriving, and the this and the that, this should be expected. This shouldn't be a surprise. This should be expected. So something has to be done. The question is what? And my job is to get the public more educated about this and get the public involved. But I'm thinking about now, what can the JCF do beyond just talking to the government and getting promises? Because that's all they've been getting, promises. And you know what they say about a promise? My father told me this a long, long time ago. Comfort to a fool. I don't think the JCF members are foolish. So they need to start, they need to come up with, they have good, solid legal counsel. They need to come up with something and figure out how can we do this legislatively, administratively, publicly. How can we do something to better our position? How?
You know, Mr. Rattigan, what I realize, the government can't say they don't have any money, Mr. James, please don't go anywhere, sir. If you're hungry, hold on a minute. Because I have some questions for you to ask you. If you're belly hungry, hold on a minute. The JCF members that need help, and only you alone can help them. We're speaking to Mr. Rohan James, chairman of the Police Federation. We also have on our Zoom here in the Mekwe Talk, Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. This afternoon, we have Mr. Wilfred Rattigan, former FBI agent. What I want to say now, the government can't say they don't have any money to fight crime, Mr. Rattigan. You know why? Because the tickets the tickets they pour pauperizing bus and taxi drivers every day. Hello, billions and billions of dollars collecting. Where the money going? Mr. Chairman, the question for you, sir, about the police MP. Has the Minister of Finance, the world-class Minister of Finance, what they have? What is it? He promised them it. When are they going to get it?
We are still awaiting a response from the Ministry of Finance. We went to that meeting on the 7th of July. Nothing has been reduced or communicated to us since then. What I do know is that as a responsible body, we have united around a common cause with the members of the Police Officers Association, as well as the United District Constables Association, because we are not going to put up with any nonsense this time around. We have to get it right at first instance. The compensation review was meant to materialize different remuneration going forward. And what the government has indicated in it is that they will continue to utilize what currently exists. And for good reason, I can't see how it is that you are embarking on a compensation review, but you intend to cause police officers to be aligned with firefighters and correctional officers when the risk associated with the profession is far outweighing that of the other two first responders group. And we are not saying that we are better than others, but we are not also comparing ourselves. What we are saying in existence for far too long, we have been taken for granted. We have been promised. Numerous speeches have been made both in the public domain and in the parliament that better compensation will be coming, but that is not what is reduced in writing in the compensation review analysis that is shared with the public by the Minister of Finance. And from that, we deduce that they cannot afford to pay the rank and file membership and members of the constabulary force in the manner in which they should pay, because it will double the wage bill. We're saying that you cannot, as politicians, seek to triple your salary, but yet still you believe that the police officers out there standing in the gap for law-abiding citizens of this country is not deserving of being compensated for the risk that he is taking associated with the profession.
But you know something, we're gonna wrap up soon. Before I let you go because I don't want them to call you again. Anyway, Jeffrey, behave yourself.
In matter of fact, Jeffrey,
Mhm.
I'm going to say to persons, do not call my phone or text or WhatsApp me about political parties and pressure in your party or government. I'm speaking to my employer. And for once, I want people to understand that politics is nowhere near the picture. It is about the well-being and welfare of the men and women of the constabulary force so that they can effectively discharge their function to the citizens of this country, and that every citizen can stand up and be proud because they are now going to be enjoying equity and equality for everyone.
But
Well, let me just say this. Let me just one second, brother Jeff. Let me just say this. That a while ago, Mr. Chairman, you said that you know your entity is no better than firefighters, and you said we're not saying that we're better than anybody, including firefighters. Well, let me say it for you.
No, I said I'm not comparing ourselves. I won't compare ourselves.
Right.
With others.
Well, let me compare it. Well, let me compare it then. As far as law enforcement is concerned, and listen to me carefully. As far as law enforcement is concerned in Jamaica, nobody is better than the JCF. The firefighter cannot do law enforcement work. The JDF cannot do law enforcement work. Right?
Exactly.
The customs cannot do law enforcement work. And the country depends on the JCF to do what is necessary to serve, protect, and reassure. They're not going to the firefighters to provide service and reassurance. They're coming to the JCF. So the question is, why is it then that you guys are not properly compensated? I saw the thing that the Minister of Finance put out, and that gentleman who heads that ministry, I've been told that he said that he wasn't elected to lead. He was elected, I was told that he was not elected to lead, he was elected to rule. So now I have to call him emperor. So that emperor, he sent out a thing saying that, okay, here is how much the JCF constable would get, and I think it's somewhere like a $257,000, something like that, in that range, a raise. But then it's notional. In the fine print, it's notional. It didn't. That fine print that's there in that flyer, that shouldn't be there. If that's what they're giving you, then that's what they're giving you. But it's just for comparative purposes.
You see, the thing about it, and that is why I continue to say publicly that the Minister of Finance is not serious about welfare and well-being of the men and women who are serving the Jamaica Constabulary Force and the citizens of this country. I say this against the backdrop that after 5 years of 4% acceptance and sacrifice made by members of the Constabulary Force, and 2 years into a compensation review, the minister and his technocrats can't even get it right to reduce.
You're muted. Repeat what you're saying.
That after 2 years into the compensation review, that the minister.
You're muted again.
Cannot get it right, in that they cannot reduce what their intentions and purposes are in writing to us so that we can communicate effectively with us.
It is a shame. It is a shame. And all those who want to WhatsApp the chairman's phone, stop it. We're not a PNP or a JLP organization. When it comes on to the Make We Talk program, we're speaking for the well-being of the members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force who need help. Maybe we should cost them, But since I find what is going on in there, I have to stop it. You cannot have people serving and protecting your country and they're underpaid, they're under-equipped. What kind of dibby organization they're going in the country? And they can find nearly $200 or $300 million for Grand Gala. And our teachers, our police officers and our firefighters are underpaid. I know you have to go, Mr. James. Your final word before you go, sir.
Just want to encourage not only my membership, but the members of the public and the diaspora to exercise faith in the officers of the Jamaica Constabulary Force and continue to give us the support, but more so hold those who you are paying your tax dollars to accountable so that they can stir response to duties and provide us with the resources to protect you, the citizens of this country. Once we get the resources and the remuneration, then you can rest assured we are going to work. We have demonstrated that we are prepared to work and we are working. Just imagine if we should get that remuneration and resource that we are yearning for, then you will see Jamaica a place of choice to live, do business, and raise family.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman of the Jamaica Police Federation, Rohan James, a no-nonsense and outspoken individual. These are the people we need in our country to speak out for the men and women of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Sir, you have a good day, and don't be a stranger to make me talk, sir.
I won't, sir. I won't. It was my pleasure. And I'm sure that the men and women of the Constabulary Force appreciate that has been extended, and for us to clarify that our role is not only about service, but where this service is being dished out to the Constabulary Force, then we are going to highlight it, and I will not be muzzled by anyone. And I want to make that abundantly clear that in this era, I believe that the foundation that was laid by my alma mater, work and integrity, it did not have anything at the end that matters and means compromise.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for coming on. And other members, you're welcome, sir. Don't be a stranger now. Other members, thank you. Other members who are on the Zoom link here, thank you for your service to our country. Please be safe. May God bless you all. And may God protect you and your families. I am speaking to the chairman, was speaking to the chairman of the Jamaica, the Police Federation of the JCF, Chairman Rohan James. You know, it is sad. It is very sad. Sad, 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 sad. Mr. Rattigan, we're going to wrap up now. Your final word. Hold on there. Mr. Gordon, you want to say something, sir? Okay, Mr. Rattigan, we're going to wrap up now, sir. Your final word?
All right. Final word is that it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace, national disgrace, when you have an organization like the JCF that's undermanned, under-resourced, and without a crime plan. We shouldn't expect them to do anything. In fact, what they're doing now is yeoman's work, because they're doing more with less. And it's high time that the government see it fit to rechannel some of the funds that they've been misspending to help these men and women so that they can do what they've been charged to do. And that is to serve, protect, and reassure the Jamaican public. Corruption continues, and we will continue. And we will not stop until we get some movement and a handle on this issue, because if we don't do it, nobody's going to do it.
And you know, Mr. Rattigan, I am here saying to myself, what sort of Jamaica are we leaving for our children? You know, that's a different topic for a different day. Members on the YouTube channel, please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. I think I have Mr. Gordon. You want to say something, sir? You unmute your mic. Do you want to say something, sir? Okay. My final word to my fellow Jamaicans out there. Our country is in need of help. I'm not a member of any political party in Jamaica. When I was born as a Jamaican citizen. Not as a member of any political party. And the time has come for us, as Jamaicans, to stop the PNP and the JLP thing and speak up for our country. The crime has taken over. The politicians are the one who created this gangmanism and this danmanism for us to fight for skatesmanism and spoils. Now it's out of what they can't control it. They have no ways of controlling it. They don't have any plan. They have no plan for this country when it comes on to fighting crime. The members of the JCF are underpaid. They don't have any equipment. Let's just show you where this country is going. So I say to my fellow Jamaicans out there, the time has come for you to speak up as a Jamaican citizen, to speak out of what is going on, and let us come together. If it's even for us to come together and form a crime plan for this country. You have a lot of members of the diaspora who are lawyers, doctors, former FBI agents, and so forth. Let us come together and form a crime plan for Jamaica, since our political leaders can't. The two political parties are clueless in what they're doing when it comes down to fighting crime in Jamaica. Our country that we all love. Let us show the love of country, not of party, but the love of country. This is where I say so long. Hurricane is threatening to come to Florida. We must pray for our brothers and sisters in the Florida area. Because believe you me, this thing is really threatening for us. Or for them over there rather. But we need help. Jamaica need some serious help. And if we don't give the help that Jamaica need, and we don't stop this PNP and JLP stupidness in this country, then I don't know where we're going to be. On the behalf of all of us, on the behalf of my good friend Wilfred Rattigan, I am Jeffrey Tavares saying, so long. May God bless you. And may God bless Jamaica land we love. I'm going to leave with my favorite song. Because believe you me, I think this country sell out. This is how we do it.
My Highland don't sell out. My Highland don't sell out. Please don't sell out. My Highland don't sell out. Remember your teachers them now. Remember your nurses them now. Remember your doctors them now. My Highland don't sell out. No, 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 no. My Highland don't sell out. Please don't sell out. Remember your farmers them now. Remember your workers them now. Remember your neighbors them now. My Highland don't sell out.
Thank you all. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. I do not own the rights to this channel, to this music that is being played, sorry. The Burning Inspiration is being played. I do not own the copyrights to it. Thank you very much. I'm Jeffrey Tavares saying so long. May God bless you. Thank you.